What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm the Bear Market Miner, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I mine crypto on 52 GPUs at home with zero electricity costs by making use of my 8 kilowatt solar setup. I'll keep it short and concise so you can get all the information as fast as possible. Let's get into it. So my setup consists of 20 400 watt solar panels, which gives me a total of 8 kilowatts to play with. I also have an inverter installed which converts my solar to usable energy, and it gives me the ability to sell the excess back to the grid if there's any left over that isn't being used by the house. The initial investment was around $5,000 around 4 years ago, and it's definitely already paid itself off multiple times over, so a great investment initially. Also, there's no maintenance with this setup, there's no trees to trim overhead, and the installed panels came with I believe a 10-year warranty at the time. Fortunately or unfortunately, I live in a country that is generally warm over here in Australia and sunny all year round. So I'm able to utilize my solar setup from pretty much 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. to some extent. I'd highly recommend, if you are mining at home, looking into the costs of installing this solar system or any solar system and see if it could sort of increase your profits. So I've emphasized efficiency in my farm as I'm going for the most bang for buck and to increase my profits and decrease my outstanding ROIs. So making up a solid portion of my farm, around 25 or so of the GPUs are 3070s. Love these cards. They've been forever the king of GPUs when it comes to performance and efficiency across a range of algorithms. They've been tested many times. Super efficient, great price, and well performing across the board. I'm thinking about potentially getting a few more of these before prices move too much. They've moved a little bit, but I might see if I can get another 8 more. We'll see how we go. I've also recently invested in a 10 card 6600 XT rig, which are the second most efficient of all GPUs on Core Power algorithms, just to give me that flexibility and diversity and be able to mine more Core Power algorithms if I wish, like Core AI, New AI, things like that I've talked about in my previous videos. I also have an 8 card 3060 Ti rig, which are solid cards again across the board, solid gaming cards as well, so good for resale at a medium price. They do well with efficiency numbers, not as good as the 3070, but still a lot better than many of the other cards out there. I've also got an 8 by 1660 Ti and Super rig, which doesn't pull a large mega hash, but sort of super low wattage, pretty efficient across the board as well. So I currently have that solo mining to sort of just try and really maximize the profits I can make out of that. I'm hoping to hit a couple of Radiant blocks, but we'll see how we go. We're 3 weeks deep so far, and so far no luck, but we'll keep at it. There's also a few 4070s that I bought, which I probably paid too much for, but once again, easy to resell if I ever wanted to, and also very efficient. Just great cards all round as far as the efficiency numbers, pretty much better than the 3070 across a lot of the rigs. And to round it out, I've got a couple 3080s and 3090s. I pulled the 3080 and 3090 out of an old gaming setup as I upgraded, put those in, and I grabbed a couple more off eBay because the prices were just so cheap about 6 months to a year ago, so I could not say no. And also pretty efficient, so look, very happy with the setup I've got at the moment. So let's talk about my mining strategy and sort of what coins and algorithms I'm mining and why, to try and maximize my solar usage and efficiency, as I said previously. So currently I'm mining for around 8 to 12 hours a day to keep my running costs at next to nothing, barring those cloudy days. Now, I could mine for 24 hours a day and still be profitable, but the return versus cost ratio for me isn't really worth it. It's quite marginal, especially when you consider the amount of extra wear. You're running those cards for 3 times as long for sort of marginal gains, which doesn't really add up for me. There are a lot of different strategies that people use when it comes to mining, things like mining purely for profit, mining for yield. Some people like to spec mine and so on, and I do a sort of mix of all of those. So the largest component being following the highest revenue per kilowatt hour depending on what coin it is, which means I'm mining the most efficient coin at all times and the most profitable for each of my individual rigs. And I get this information by using hashrate.no, simply looking at the numbers, entering mine in, and then figuring it out what the actual hash per watt is to give me the most accurate numbers and keep me as profitable as possible. I don't solely use this strategy, although it is generally the way I like to go. I do like to yield mine as another little strategy from time to time, watching the hash rate dip in and out of coins, jumping on it when the hash rate is low so I can get the most return, most bang for buck again. And finally, and sort of occasionally, I like to spec mine depending on what coins look interesting. We did have a few people talking about Pyron pretty early, Carlson, things like that. So it was good to get in on those. And there's been a few other coins in the past and hopefully a few coming up that will sort of make some decent gains. And let me know what you guys are mining. What sort of strategies are you guys using? Something similar? I would assume that a lot of people are sort of mining this way. I could be completely wrong, so let me know down in the comments there. So how does this all equate to a dollar value? So my current electricity rate is around 26 cents AUD per kilowatt hour. And when factoring in the solar setup for a minimum of 8 hours a day, this sort of brings my effective 24-hour rate down to about 17 cents AUD or around 10.5 cents USD. 10 cents has pretty much been a profitable electricity rate, even through the darker days of the bear market. So it's meant I've been able to stay profitable pretty much since the merge and hopefully far into the future. So let's look at some numbers here. So my solar app has recently updated, so I can't access my lifetime statistics, but we can look at the amount of power that has been pulled over the last 5.5 months. That's the most I could recover. So we've pulled a whopping 5.56 megawatts, which works out to an average of around 926 kilowatts hours or kilowatts per month. So let's take a conservative average of revenue per kilowatt of 34 cents Australian, which I think works out to around 22 cents USD per kilowatt hour. This works out to a solid 313 Aussie dollars or around 203 US dollars per month of free crypto that I'm paying nothing for. In recent months with some coins though, like Pyron, Carlson and Alephium, there have been a couple others, but those to name a few, they've been highly profitable for periods of time. So this monthly number has been even higher and profits have been close to the $400 mark for around 8 to 10 hours worth of mining. So all in all, the solar has been a great investment for my GPU mining farm as it's let me maintain profitability regardless of the highs and lows. And as we know, profits are what it's all about. That's what we all do it for. I also have some space left on my roof to add more panels. I could probably add at least 50%, so 10 more and get that up to about 12 kilowatts. And I've got headroom in my inverter. We did put a bigger inverter just to give us that future-proofing ability. So that will conclude the breakdown of my solar-powered crypto mining farm tour. So hopefully that was short and concise for you guys and didn't take too much of your time up. And hopefully it helped you make a decision on whether or not you should get a solar system. People often think about upgrading GPUs, ASICs before they think about reducing costs. And solar is a great way to do that. So if you have any more questions about the setup, be sure to leave them down in the comments. I like to respond to every question down there, generally within a few hours, unless I'm asleep, of course. So, you won't be left waiting for days. I also like to know what you guys want to see more of. Is it videos like this? Are you interested in the setup, the day-to-day runnings, things like that, or talking about future coins? Anything, let me know, and we'll see what we can do. So if you like today's video, make sure you like the video and be sure to subscribe for more home crypto mining content. I'm the Bear Market Miner, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.